Are you tired of all the noise, the constant buzz of advice, tips, and strategies that flood your mind every day? Everyone seems to have their own version of the secret to success. But here's the truth. The real path to lasting success isn't flashy, it isn't loud, and it definitely isn't instant. What if I told you that the most successful people, the ones with real lasting wealth, are quietly doing things that most of us will never hear about? They're not out there shouting their secrets from the rooftops. Instead, they're building their empire in silence, one small, deliberate step at a time. It's not about overnight success, it's not about luck or shortcuts. It's about doing the right things consistently in the quiet moments that no one else sees. Today, I'm going to show you what millionaires do in silence. The habits, the mindset, the quiet actions that lead to extraordinary success. This isn't about motivation alone. This is about understanding the true power of what happens behind the scenes. If you're ready to unlock that silent power and start taking real focused action, stick with me. What you learn today could change your life forever. You've heard it before, haven't you? The stories of people who go from broke to billionaire in the blink of an eye. The dream of overnight success. Everyone wants it. But let me ask you this. How many of these stories end well? How many times have you seen someone skyrocket to fame and fortune, only to fall back down just as quickly? The truth is, the idea of instant success is a myth. It's a fairy tale, and I'm here to show you why. There is no magic formula, no get-rich-quick trick that guarantees long-term success. What you see on the surface, the flashy cars, the big homes, the shiny businesses, is only the tip of the iceberg. What you don't see is the silent, relentless work that goes on behind the scenes. Success isn't instant, it's built over time, piece by piece, with hard work and sacrifice. Millionaires understand this. They know that real wealth takes time to grow. So stop chasing the illusion of overnight success. It doesn't exist. What you need is to shift your focus and build your success the right way, one solid step at a time. If you're looking for a shortcut, you're in the wrong place. Instant wealth never lasts because it's built on shaky foundations. People who come into money quickly often don't know how to handle it. They're not prepared for the responsibility, and they don't have the mindset needed to keep it. They might make all the right moves in the beginning, but without the deep, consistent work that comes with real success, they end up losing it all. Millionaires know this better than anyone. They didn't get where they are by chasing easy paths or looking for a fast track. Instead, they put in the work day in and day out. They built their wealth quietly, focusing on mastering their craft, growing their businesses, and investing in themselves. They didn't just wait for the next big break. They made it happen through careful planning, discipline, and a long-term vision. So what's the real work behind success? It's the countless hours of learning, adjusting, and trying again when things don't work out. It's the commitment to improving day after day. It's the quiet hustle that no one sees, the effort that pays off over time, not overnight. And it's the mindset that understands success doesn't happen by accident, it's created. If you want to build something lasting, you need to stop looking for shortcuts. You need to start embracing the process, knowing that the real work is happening in the silence, behind the scenes, where no one else is watching. Let me ask you something. How many times have you tried to change your life only to fall back into old routines? You know what I'm talking about. You start off strong, motivated, and full of energy. But before long, things slip back to how they were. Sound familiar? The secret to breaking that cycle, to truly changing your life, lies in something simpler than you think. It's not about big dramatic shifts. It's about the small daily choices you make. It's about the habits you form. Millionaires didn't get where they are by chance. They didn't wake up one day with everything handed to them. What they did have was a set of powerful habits that worked behind the scenes, pushing them forward when most people were stuck. Today, I'm going to show you how your habits can become the engine of your success. We're going to break down how small actions, done consistently, can lead to massive growth. And we'll talk about why most people fail. Not because they don't have the skills or knowledge, but because they never get a handle on their habits. You have the power to transform your life, but it all starts with what you do every single day. The foundation of millionaire success isn't some grand one-time achievement. It's built on consistent habits. Every successful person you admire, whether it's in business, sports, or even the arts, got there because of their habits. Take a moment to think about the habits of the people you look up to. They don't just do things when it's convenient. They do them every day. They don't let distractions, doubts, or even failure get in their way. Success is not about waiting for that perfect moment. It's about creating a series of small wins that build up over time. And those small wins are fueled by your habits. Look at someone like Warren Buffett, one of the richest people on the planet. His success didn't come overnight, and it didn't come from big flashy moves. It came from reading every single day. He reads hundreds of pages every week, and that habit has compounded over decades, turning him into a giant in the world of investing. Now it's your turn. Think about your own habits. What are the daily actions you're taking that are either pushing you forward or holding you back? If you want to be successful, you need to understand that habits are the foundation of everything. The right habits will take you further than any one-time effort ever could. They will give you a reliable, unstoppable force to keep moving, even when things get tough. When it comes to wealth building, small, consistent actions are the secret to exponential growth. It's the everyday steps that build up and lead to results far greater than you can imagine. This is where most people miss the mark. They look for shortcuts, for the quick fix, the sudden windfall. But that's not how true wealth is created. It's the habit of saving just a little bit more, of investing just a little bit smarter, that compounds over time. Imagine if you set aside just 10 extra minutes a day to learn something new, whether it's reading about investing, improving your skills, or building your business. 10 minutes doesn't sound like much, does it? But in a year, that's over 60 hours. In 5 years, that's over 300 hours. That's the power of small, consistent actions. And that's just one habit. What if you started eating just a little healthier, exercising a little more? What if you spent an hour each week working on a side project, or called one person every day to build your network? Over time, those actions multiply. You don't need huge, life-changing moments to make a difference. You need a series of small, purposeful actions that add up to something big. Here's the problem most people face. They don't recognize the difference between productive and unproductive habits. They get caught up in the small, mindless habits that hold them back. Maybe it's scrolling on social media for hours, binge-watching shows instead of reading, or putting off important tasks because they seem too overwhelming. These are habits that drain energy, time, and focus. But here's the thing, every small habit has a cost. If you're spending time on something that doesn't move you forward, it's costing you your future. Maybe it's not an obvious loss, but it's there. The time you waste is time you could have spent working toward your goals. It's time you could have used to develop the habits that will take you to the next level. On the flip side, productive habits compound in the opposite direction. The more you practice them, the better you get. If you read for just 20 minutes a day, you'll read dozens of books in a year. If you exercise for just 30 minutes a day, you'll transform your health over time. If you invest just a small amount of money regularly, you'll watch your wealth grow in ways you didn't think possible. So where are you right now? Look at the habits you're building. Are they pushing you closer to your goals, or are they keeping you stuck? Take a hard look. If you don't like what you see, you have the power to change it. Your future is not determined by the big moves you make, but by the small actions you take every day. Focus on building habits that support the life you want. The results will come, and they'll be bigger and better than you ever imagined. Let me ask you something. How many of you feel like you're just one bad decision away from going under? Or maybe you've made the right moves, but somehow the money just never seems to last. Does it feel like the harder you work, the less progress you see? If any of this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Money isn't just about how much you make, it's about how you manage it. And that's where most people go wrong. You see, millionaires aren't necessarily the ones who make the most, they're the ones who spend the least. And what they do spend goes toward building their future. Today I'm going to show you the quiet practice of financial discipline. This isn't some get-rich-quick scheme. It's not flashy or glamorous, but it's powerful. This is how real wealth is built, one silent decision at a time. Millionaires don't spend, they invest. If you want financial freedom, you need to think beyond the next paycheck. Millionaires understand that true wealth isn't just about collecting money, it's about using that money to build something bigger. They take what they earn and they invest it, whether it's in the stock market, real estate, or building a business. It's about making your money work for you. It's a quiet practice. No need for flashy cars or extravagant trips. It's about discipline, about delaying gratification, and about understanding that every dollar you keep today can multiply tomorrow. Think of it this way, every time you choose to save or invest instead of splurge, you're planting a seed for your future. That's the real secret. Millionaires know this, and it's what keeps them ahead while others are left scrambling. But there's another key element to this silence. Financial control and silence go hand in hand. It's not just about making smart financial choices. It's about having the mental clarity to stick with those choices, even when the world around you is pushing you to do the opposite. The noise of modern life, the constant advertisements, and the pressures of society, those are the things that keep most people broke. They tell you what to buy, what to want, and what's cool. But here's the truth, those things will keep you from your wealth. Silence doesn't mean ignoring the world, it means tuning it out. It means not being distracted by every new trend or flashy ad. It means making decisions based on what truly matters for your future, not based on what's being thrown in your face today. Millionaires don't buy into the noise. They don't follow the crowd. Instead, they make quiet, calculated decisions that add up over time. They understand that wealth isn't built by impulse. The key to lasting financial freedom is avoiding impulsive spending. Now, I know it feels good to treat yourself, to buy that new gadget, or go on that spontaneous vacation. But let me tell you something, those things won't make you richer. In fact, they'll do the opposite. They'll eat away at your potential for growth. Every time you give in to that impulse, you're trading your future for a fleeting moment of pleasure. And when you do that too often, you'll find yourself trapped in a cycle you can't get out of. We've all seen it. The person who constantly upgrades their car, buys the newest phone, or spends too much on clothes. The truth is, those purchases are often just distractions. They're ways to fill a gap, to feel good in the moment. But what happens when the moment passes? That purchase doesn't change your life. It doesn't build your wealth. It doesn't take you any closer to your goals. On the other hand, when you practice financial discipline and resist the temptation to spend impulsively, you create space for growth. Every dollar you save, every decision you make with long-term wealth in mind, puts you further ahead. And that doesn't just mean more money in your bank account. It means more opportunities, more freedom, more peace of mind. The ability to make choices based on what you want, not on what you have to do. So what does financial discipline really look like? It's about mastering your emotions. It's about not getting swept up in the excitement of the moment. It's about stepping back and asking yourself, is this purchase adding to my future? Millionaires are masters of this art. They've learned to wait for what they want. They've learned that their money is their most powerful tool, not for spending, but for investing in their future. And if you want to be in the same position, you need to start doing the same. You see, it's the small, consistent decisions that add up. It's not about making one big sacrifice, it's about making thousands of small ones. Those are the decisions that set millionaires apart. They don't make it about the big, flashy purchases. They make it about the steady, reliable growth of their wealth. And if you can adopt that same mindset, it's only a matter of time before you see the results for yourself. So let's be clear, financial freedom isn't about avoiding spending forever. It's about knowing where to put your money so it can grow. It's about making smart decisions even when the world is telling you to do something different. And most importantly, it's about staying disciplined in the face of temptation. The quiet practice of financial discipline is what will set you up for long-term success. Keep that focus and watch how your financial future transforms. Have you ever wondered what sets the truly successful apart from the rest? Why do some people seem to keep climbing while others struggle to stay afloat? It's not about luck, talent, or who you know. It's about one simple yet powerful practice: learning. The most successful people, the ones who accumulate true wealth and live extraordinary lives, are lifelong learners. They never stop growing. Today I'm going to show you the silent power behind this journey of self-development. I'm going to reveal how knowledge can become your most valuable asset and why learning is the key to creating a future that most people only dream about. This isn't about reading a book or taking a course. This is about adopting a mindset that keeps you growing, evolving, and moving forward. Stick with me, because once you understand this, it could change everything for you. Millionaires understand something that most people overlook: knowledge is their secret weapon. They know that the more they learn, the more powerful they become. The world is full of opportunities, but you won't see them if you don't keep learning. You see, knowledge isn't just something you acquire and forget. It's something that grows, evolves, and compounds over time. Think about it. Every skill you master, every new piece of information you understand, adds value to your life. It opens doors. It allows you to spot opportunities others miss. Millionaires make a habit of constantly learning because they know that's what keeps them ahead. This doesn't mean they spend their lives in classrooms. It means they're always curious, always seeking to understand more. Whether it's reading, talking to experts, or simply paying attention to how things work, they invest in learning because they know it pays the biggest dividends. And here's the kicker: this kind of learning isn't always visible. It doesn't always show up in a resume or a certificate. It shows up in the way they make decisions, the way they spot opportunities, and the way they navigate challenges. That's the power of knowledge. It's quiet, but it's unstoppable. Now let me tell you about building quiet mastery. The best never stop learning, and that's why they're the best. They've learned to master their craft, but not by standing still. They master it by constantly refining, improving, and adding new layers of understanding. The best don't get comfortable. They don't rest on their past successes. Instead, they push themselves to get better every single day. Think about the top athletes, the world-class musicians, or the brilliant entrepreneurs. They don't just hit a plateau and stop. They keep going. And this is the mindset you need to adopt if you want to succeed. Mastery isn't a destination, it's a journey. The road never ends. The best know this. They are driven by a relentless pursuit of improvement, constantly learning from their experiences and their mistakes. Every day is an opportunity to get better, and they don't waste it. This is why the best in any field keep rising. They stay hungry. They stay humble. They stay focused on their learning. And that's what you need to do too. Don't think that just because you've reached a certain level of success, you're done. The moment you stop learning is the moment you stop growing. Learning isn't always about obvious skills. It's about developing the right mindset. It's about learning how to overcome challenges, how to stay disciplined, and how to keep moving forward even when things get tough. The best don't just learn from successes, they learn from failure too. They see mistakes not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones on the path to mastery. If you want to be one of the best, you need to adopt the same mindset. Keep learning, keep improving, and never stop pushing the boundaries of what you're capable of. Now let's talk about something that's often overlooked, the unseen power of networking and strategic growth. Networking is more than just collecting business cards or making small talk at events. It's about building meaningful relationships that help you grow, and it's something the most successful people do quietly and consistently. They understand that success isn't just about what you know, it's about who you know, and more importantly, who knows you. Strategic growth means surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, teach you, and push you to think bigger. It's about finding mentors who've walked the path before you and listening to their advice. It's about connecting with others who are on the same journey, who share your values, and who will hold you accountable. This kind of networking isn't about using people for what they can do for you. It's about genuinely connecting and learning from each other. The most successful people don't just wait for opportunities to come to them. They go out and create them. They do this by building relationships with people who help them grow. They stay connected with those who inspire them and challenge them to think differently. And here's the thing, you don't need to be outgoing or extroverted to do this. The power of strategic networking isn't about how many people you know, it's about how deep the relationships go. It's about surrounding yourself with people who elevate you, who push you to get better, and who help you see your potential in ways you might never have imagined. So what does all this mean for you? It means that if you want to unlock your full potential, you need to commit to lifelong learning. You need to adopt the mindset of the best, the mindset of those who never stop growing. And you need to build relationships that support your growth, that push you to become better, and that create opportunities you might never have expected. This is the silent power that drives real success. And if you make it your own, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Have you ever let a moment of frustration or disappointment dictate your actions? Have you ever found yourself reacting emotionally only to regret it later? What if I told you that the ability to master your emotions is one of the most powerful tools you have for achieving success? Today, I'm going to show you how emotional control and mental fortitude are the silent driving forces behind the greatest achievements. The road to wealth, success, and fulfillment isn't just about what you know, it's about how well you manage yourself when things get tough. In this speech, we'll explore how mastering your emotions can unlock your true potential and make the difference between falling short and reaching the heights you've always dreamed of. Stick with me, because what you're about to learn could change the way you approach every challenge in your life. Mastering your emotions isn't about suppressing them. It's about understanding them and using them to your advantage. Millionaires, successful entrepreneurs, and high achievers all share one thing in common. They've learned to control their emotions rather than allowing their emotions to control them. Think about the times you felt anger, fear, or anxiety. Now imagine if you could harness those feelings and use them as fuel for your drive, instead of letting them derail you. This is the secret skill of the wealthy: emotional control. Most people don't realize how much power their emotions have over their lives. When faced with a tough decision, many people act impulsively, driven by frustration or fear. But successful people don't let those emotions dictate their choices. They take a step back, assess the situation, and make a decision based on logic and long-term vision, not short-term emotional reactions. When you master your emotions, you stop letting fleeting feelings control your future. Instead, you take control, and that is a game changer. It's what separates those who succeed from those who fall short. If you don't learn to control your emotions, they will control you. Let that sink in for a moment. Emotions can cloud your judgment, lead you to make rash decisions, and ultimately keep you stuck in a cycle of reaction instead of action. But when you master emotional control, you gain clarity. You start making decisions from a place of strength, not weakness. Emotional control isn't about being cold or unfeeling. It's about being intentional. It's about knowing when to act, when to pause, and when to push forward. Now let's talk about why emotional control is truly the difference between success and failure. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. The road to your goals is filled with obstacles, setbacks, and challenges. And during those tough moments, it's easy to lose your cool. But let me tell you something, it's in those moments that emotional control becomes your greatest asset. When things get tough, most people panic. They let fear or frustration take over, making decisions that lead to regret. Successful people, on the other hand, stay calm. They understand that failure is part of the process, and they don't let it knock them off course. Instead, they view failure as a lesson, not a defeat. They learn from it, adapt, and keep moving forward. When you let emotions like anger or fear guide you, you might win a short-term victory, but you'll lose in the long run. If you stay composed and focused, however, you'll build a solid foundation for lasting success. Think of any entrepreneur who faced tremendous odds, someone like Steve Jobs, who was fired from his own company, or Oprah Winfrey, who faced rejection after rejection. If they had let their emotions control them in those critical moments, they would have given up. Instead, they chose to keep moving forward with calm determination. Their emotional resilience is what carried them through the darkest times. They didn't let setbacks define them, they learned from them and kept pushing toward their vision. Now let's talk about patience and perseverance in uncertain times. Success isn't just about acting decisively, it's also about knowing when to wait, when to stay the course, and when to push through difficult times. Patience is often overlooked, but it's a key element of mental fortitude. In a world that wants everything instantly, true success requires the ability to endure and stay focused, even when you don't see immediate results. The best investors, entrepreneurs, and leaders understand the power of patience. They don't make rash decisions because they're in a hurry. They understand that true wealth and success take time to build. When you're able to sit with uncertainty, to let your investments or efforts grow at their own pace, you build something solid. Rushing through decisions or seeking instant results often leads to disappointment and mistakes. But if you can be patient, if you can endure through the tough times, you'll emerge stronger on the other side. Perseverance is another crucial trait. It's easy to keep going when everything's going your way. But when you hit a wall, when the road gets tough, that's when most people quit. The successful ones don't quit. They dig deep, find strength they didn't know they had, and keep moving forward. You need to be ready to push through the uncertainty, the challenges, and the tough moments. There will be times when you won't see the rewards of your efforts right away. But if you have the mental fortitude to keep going, to stay patient and persevere, you'll eventually get where you want to be. Trust the process and trust that your efforts will pay off in the end. Emotional control, patience, and perseverance aren't just nice to haves, they're essential to your success. Let me leave you with this: the road to your dreams won't always be smooth. You'll face obstacles, doubts, and challenges. But if you can master your emotions, stay patient in times of uncertainty, and persevere when things get tough, you will not only overcome those challenges, you will rise above them. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't about talent, luck, or opportunity. It's about the mental strength to keep going when the going gets tough, and that strength comes from within. Have you ever felt like the world is moving at a pace you can't keep up with? Everywhere you turn, there's noise, distractions, and endless demands on your attention. It's exhausting, and in all that chaos, it can feel impossible to focus on what truly matters. But here's the truth: success doesn't come from being busy, it comes from being focused. In this speech, I'm going to show you why focus and reflection are some of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal. I'll share how the wealthiest and most successful individuals use quiet, uninterrupted time to make the biggest strides in their lives and businesses. This isn't just about getting more done, it's about getting the right things done. Today, I'll help you reclaim the power of focus so you can cut through the noise and move closer to your goals with clarity and precision. Stay with me, because mastering this quiet skill could be the game changer you've been looking for. The truth is, in today's world, we've lost the ability to truly focus. We live in an era of constant distractions, phones ringing, notifications popping up, emails flooding our inboxes. It's like we're always in a state of emergency, responding to one thing after another. But let me tell you something: that kind of life will never bring you real success. The people who truly thrive, the ones who achieve big things, know how to shut out the noise. They've learned the power of focus. If you want to know the secret behind the world's most successful people, it's this: they embrace uninterrupted, deep focus. Billionaires and top entrepreneurs don't let themselves get caught up in the constant distractions of daily life. Instead, they carve out specific time each day to work with zero interruptions. They know that in those quiet hours, they make the biggest breakthroughs. This is the lost art of focus. It's not about working longer hours, it's about working smarter and with intention. If you want to move forward in life, you need to start prioritizing focus. It's about making a conscious decision to tune out everything else, at least for a little while, and truly dive into the work that will take you where you want to go. This is how you create real momentum. Strategizing in silence is where the magic happens. The most successful people aren't running around, busy with meetings, or constantly reacting to whatever comes their way. They are planning, they are thinking, they are envisioning the future, and they do it all in silence. Strategizing in silence isn't about being alone for the sake of being alone. It's about creating space in your mind to think clearly, to reflect, and to make decisions with the future in mind. The people who know how to strategize in silence understand the power of long-term vision. They are not scrambling to solve problems on the fly. They are actively building a roadmap for where they want to go, in a place of quiet focus. And this is where real growth happens. When you embrace silence and focus, you give yourself the chance to think through your ideas and your goals. It's in those moments of quiet that you get to examine your long-term vision and decide what steps you need to take to get there. The best strategies are born from reflection, not rushed decisions. So if you want to be like the millionaires, the successful entrepreneurs, and the top performers, you need to start prioritizing uninterrupted time to plan for your future. The most important decisions you make, whether in business, relationships, or personal growth, require careful thought. When you try to make big decisions amidst distractions, you make mistakes. But when you step back, remove the noise, and take the time to reflect, you make better, more strategic decisions. Strategizing in silence is also about understanding your priorities. It's easy to get caught up in the daily grind, reacting to whatever pops up on your radar. But the most successful people know that real success is built on intentional choices, not frantic responses. They carve out time each day to think about what truly matters and how to move toward it. Let me challenge you today. How much of your time do you spend reacting to distractions? How often do you carve out time to sit in silence and think about your big picture? If you want to build wealth, grow your career, or make real progress in your life, you need to start embracing quiet focus. This isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. The world may be loud, but success is found in the quiet moments when you tune everything else out and focus on the work that will truly move you forward. Now I know this can be difficult. In a world full of distractions, the quiet can feel uncomfortable. It's easier to stay busy, to fill your time with small tasks that don't really matter. But here's the thing, in those moments of quiet, when you sit with your thoughts and your plans, you gain clarity, you gain direction. And that's what the successful people know. They make time for silence because they understand the power it holds. So let's make a shift together. Start carving out quiet time each day. No distractions, no interruptions. Just you, your thoughts, and your plans for the future. Use that time to reflect, to strategize, and to create the life you want. If you do this consistently, you'll start to see the kind of results that only come from deep focus and careful planning. Success doesn't just happen. It's built in the quiet moments when you take the time to reflect and plan for your future. Have you ever had to make a decision that no one would ever know about, except you? Have you ever faced a choice where the right path was clear, but the temptation to cut corners was just as strong? The truth is, in those quiet moments when no one is watching, your integrity and ethics are tested the most, and how you choose in those moments is what defines you. Today we're going to talk about the power of integrity and ethics, the silent strength that drives true success. This isn't about doing what's easy, it's about doing what's right, even when no one is looking. The path to success is built on trust, and trust is rooted in your character. If you want to build something that lasts, whether that's wealth, relationships, or a legacy, this is the foundation you need. Stay with me, because what you'll hear today will challenge how you approach the decisions in your own life. It could be the key to unlocking a future you never imagined. Integrity isn't something that can be faked. It's not about what you do when the world is watching, it's about what you do when no one else is around. Let me ask you this, when you're alone and there's no one to hold you accountable, do you still do the right thing? Do you still follow through on your promises, even when there's no immediate reward? The power of integrity lies in these quiet, unseen moments. The choices you make when no one's looking are the true measure of your character. Millionaires, the most successful people, understand this. They know that making the right decision, even when it's inconvenient, is what sets them apart in the long run. Building trust is everything. Whether it's with a client, a business partner, or even yourself, if your actions aren't rooted in integrity, everything else will crumble. You can't fake trust. And if you compromise your ethics for short-term gain, you'll lose far more in the end. So ask yourself, are you living with integrity even when no one else knows? That's where true strength lies. Let me tell you something powerful. Millionaires never compromise on ethics. They don't make deals behind closed doors, and they don't cheat the system when it seems like no one will find out. Why? Because they understand that ethics are the foundation of lasting success. You might think, it's just one small decision. What harm could it do? But let me remind you, small compromises add up. Just one small lie, one tiny unethical choice, can spiral and turn into something much bigger. When you compromise on your values, you compromise your reputation, and your reputation is everything. In business, it's the silent currency that gets you further than anything else. If you don't have integrity, you don't have trust. And without trust, you don't have long-term success. Think about the richest people in the world. Take Warren Buffett, for example. Despite his immense wealth and power, he has always placed integrity above all else. He could have made countless short-term gains by bending the rules, but he never did. Why? Because he understands that ethical decisions aren't just about doing the right thing in the moment. They're about ensuring your success is sustainable and built to last. The truth is, most people will never know when you make the right decision in the quiet moments when no one is watching. But you will know, and how you feel about yourself after making that choice is worth more than any temporary gain. Millionaires understand this. They know that compromising on ethics, no matter how small the temptation, isn't worth the cost. They've learned the hard way that doing the right thing, even when it's difficult or inconvenient, is what pays off in the long run. So let's get real for a moment. What's your standard? Are you willing to stick to your values when no one is looking, even if it means missing out on a quick win? The millionaires who have built lasting empires understand that success is about long-term decisions, not quick fixes. It's about making the right choice every single time, regardless of who's watching. When you live with integrity, you build something that no one can take away from you. Success isn't just about numbers or wealth. It's about the trust and respect you earn, even in silence. Have you ever hesitated before taking a chance? Felt that burning desire to move forward, but held back by fear of failure, uncertainty, or the unknown? It's easy to think success comes from playing it safe, but let me tell you something, true growth, real success requires calculated risks. Today I'm going to talk about the importance of strategic risk-taking and how it separates the winners from the rest. The kind of risks that lead to long-term success are not reckless, blind gambles. They are calculated decisions made with insight, planning, and vision. These are risks that, when taken at the right moment, unlock new opportunities and bring results beyond your expectations. If you're ready to step into a life of greater achievement and more meaningful progress, stay with me, because the journey of mastering strategic risk-taking could change everything for you. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you heard someone say you have to take risks to succeed? And thought, that sounds nice, but I'm not sure where to start. Risk is a scary word for most people, but here's the truth. It's not about being reckless, it's about being smart. Millionaires know this. They don't just throw caution to the wind and hope for the best. No, they take calculated risks. They study the numbers. They look at the market. They understand the consequences. And they make a decision based on knowledge, not just hope or gut instinct. When you take calculated risks, you're not gambling with your future. You're investing in it. You weigh the possible rewards against the potential losses, and you take steps to minimize the downsides. It's the difference between jumping off a cliff with no plan and knowing exactly how to land. Let me tell you something powerful. When you take risks like this, you create an edge for yourself. You open doors that others never even thought to knock on. And you do it with a level of control and foresight that sets you apart from those who take reckless risks without a plan. It's about mastering risk, not being mastered by it. Now let's talk about something even more critical. Patience. If you really want to be successful in taking risks, you've got to learn how to be patient. Millionaires don't rush. They understand that some of the most valuable opportunities take time to come to fruition. Patience and risk-taking is about playing the long game. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't expect that seed to sprout and bear fruit overnight. You water it, you nurture it, and you wait. And while you're waiting, you make sure everything around it is growing too. Your skills, your knowledge, your relationships. This is a quiet part of success. It happens behind closed doors, when no one's watching. It's in the moments of waiting, planning, and carefully watching the market or situation unfold. Millionaires know that not every risk needs to be taken immediately. Sometimes the best move is to sit tight, let the environment shift, and strike when the time is right. Take Elon Musk as an example. He didn't rush to launch every idea he had. He waited until he knew his companies could scale and change the world. When he took risks with SpaceX or Tesla, they weren't just moments of blind action. They were calculated decisions backed by years of research, learning, and growing. The risks he took were bold, yes, but they were also backed by a strong understanding of what success would look like, and most importantly, when it was the right time to act. Here's the thing, in this fast-paced world, everyone wants instant gratification. People want to take a risk and see the payoff right away. But real winners know that the real power is in the patience to make the right move at the right time. The quiet moments when you're behind closed doors, preparing, planning, and waiting for the right moment are just as important as the risks themselves. So when you're faced with an opportunity that feels like a big leap, don't let the pressure of time push you into making a hasty decision. Slow down, trust the process, wait for the right timing, and when you take the leap, you'll land with both feet firmly on the ground, ready to claim the success that comes with well-thought-out risks. Patience is a hidden ingredient in the recipe for success, and it's often in those silent waiting moments that we truly find the power to take risks that pay off. Have you ever thought about what kind of legacy you want to leave behind? Do you want to make an impact that lasts, something that outlives you and continues to grow long after you're gone? The idea of building a legacy can seem overwhelming. It feels like something that only a few extraordinary people can achieve. But I'm here to tell you it's not about what you accomplish in a flash. True legacies are built quietly, steadily, in the moments when no one is looking. Today I want to talk about how you can build a lasting legacy. A legacy that reflects your values, your vision, and your dedication. This isn't just about success. It's about creating something that echoes through time. Let's dive into how the choices you make today, in silence, can shape the future for generations to come. Look, we live in a world that glorifies instant success. Social media feeds are filled with people showing off the fruits of their labor, often with the implication that success happens overnight. But the truth? The most powerful legacies are built in silence. They're crafted over years of work, discipline, and vision that others might not see at first. Millionaires, the ones who truly leave a mark, don't get caught up in the noise. They understand that building something that lasts requires long-term thinking. They make decisions based on where they want to be in 10, 20, or even 50 years. The choices they make today, the small steps taken quietly in the background, are building blocks for something greater. It's not about being in the spotlight every day. It's about having the patience to work in the shadows, knowing that the seeds you plant now will sprout into something powerful in the future. Millionaires don't rush their vision. They understand that they're playing a long game, and they make choices with the future in mind, even when there's no immediate payoff. That's how you build a legacy that endures. Think about this: your legacy isn't something that happens after you're gone. It begins with the choices you make today. What you plant in silence, in the moments when no one is watching, determines what will grow tomorrow. Every decision, every action, no matter how small it seems, is a seed. And those seeds planted in quiet will grow into something much bigger. When you work diligently behind the scenes, not for recognition but because you believe in what you're doing, you are already creating your legacy. The hard work you put in today is the foundation for tomorrow. Look at some of the world's greatest figures. Think about Steve Jobs, for instance. Before Apple was a household name, it was a vision. Jobs spent years refining, creating, and planning quietly away from the spotlight. But when he launched the first iPhone, the legacy was already in place. It didn't start with fame. It started with work done in silence, with a vision that was bigger than any momentary success. Your legacy doesn't need to be about grand gestures. It can be about the quiet choices that reflect your integrity, your purpose, and your commitment to something greater than yourself. It's in how you treat people, how you build your skills, and how you push through challenges without waiting for applause. Your legacy is built in the silent moments, the ones where no one notices but where everything important is happening. So, what are you planting today? What actions are you taking right now, even if no one sees them? If you want a legacy that lasts, you need to start sowing the seeds now. It may be a slow process, but trust me, those seeds will sprout, and when they do, they will change everything. You are building your legacy with every choice, every small step, every silent moment of dedication. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? The choice is yours to make, and it starts today. Have you ever felt like you're putting in the work, but the results just aren't showing? Have you ever wondered if anyone notices the effort you're putting in when no one's watching? The truth is, your path to success doesn't always need to be loud. The most powerful, lasting achievements are often built in the silence. Today, I'm going to show you how the quiet moments, the ones no one sees, are the very ones that will drive you toward monumental success. Success doesn't require a spotlight. It requires focus, dedication, and consistency. In this speech, I'll guide you through how you can turn those quiet actions into the foundation for extraordinary success. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear could reshape your understanding of how success is truly built. Let me remind you, success doesn't always look like what you see on the big stage. It's often the behind-the-scenes moments that matter the most. Every late night, every extra step, every silent decision made with purpose, it's all part of your path to success. No one sees the hours you put in to build your skills, the discipline you develop when no one's watching, or the quiet decisions you make every day to keep moving forward. But trust me, those moments matter more than anything. Millionaires, successful entrepreneurs, and leaders, they don't gain success by seeking constant recognition. They build it in the silence. They take the small steps when no one is looking, and that's how their success compounds into something monumental. The truth is, quiet actions lead to success in ways that loud actions can't. You don't need to scream for attention. Your work will speak for itself. Now, it's time to take what you've learned and apply it. This is your moment. The moment you stop waiting for validation and instead start taking those quiet actions that will lead to your success. What's your next step? What small silent action can you take today to start moving toward your goals? This is your path to follow. Don't be discouraged by the fact that others may not see what you're doing. You're building something real, something powerful. The most successful people don't need applause every step of the way. They know that success is forged in the quiet moments, where they choose to show up, to keep going, and to act with integrity, day after day. So step into your silent success. Make the quiet decisions that will shape your future. Today, right now, is the moment to embrace the journey that others won't see, but that will lead you to the success you deserve.